Another week, boys, and another TWAB. This week at Bungie, we have some announcements, reminders, and things, oh my. Happy TWAB's Day, Guardians. Today we're talking about creepy crawlies, what's wrapping up at the end of the season, and a note on yesterday's downtime. Similar to last week, we had another blog post go live yesterday, sharing some economy updates and more changes coming in Lightfall. Here's a quick breakdown of everything we talked about. Umber Ingrams, 81's future, Vanguard and Nightfall focusing costs, legacy focusing, and legacy match rewards. Yeah, guys, we'll actually link that video in the description below. Essentially, there's lots of changes in regards to focusing. One of the biggest changes that we saw in that video, it appears Flawless will not be required to focus an adept weapon next season in Trials of Osiris. I still maintain that the cost overall for everything, though, is extremely expensive, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a rollback of sorts with these costs once these updates are actually out in the wild. Now, yesterday's triumphs, fix, and rollback. Earlier this week, we released Hotfix 6.3.0.5. Shortly after, reports came in that many triumphs, seals, and catalysts were missing. We discovered the issue was caused when some currently incompletable EDZ and Nessus triumphs were moved from Forsaken into the archived triumph section. To make that change, we used a tool that can move player states from one location to another in the player's account. This tool is very powerful but requires careful and cautious handling. Due to a configuration error, we accidentally reran an older state migration process used for the Beyond Light release. As a result, we ended up recopying old data from before Beyond Light into the current configuration, essentially undoing certain aspects of player progression since then. Well, hot damn. Yeah, that's like 2 years of data. Once we identified that the issue resulted in a loss of player state, we took the game down and rolled back the player database while we investigated how to remove the dangerous change from the build. Last night, we constructed a patch for 6.3.0.5 that removed the specific change that was causing the issue, tested it, and deployed it live. As a result of this fix, all player accounts had to be rolled back to 8:20 a.m. Pacific on January the 24th. This means that any progress made between 8:20 and 11 a.m. was lost and all purchases refunded. You can find more details at our @Destiny2 accounts here. Thanks again for all your patience while we sorted this out. Yeah, so we made an entire video on this, guys, of our concerns. Some of you even said, Cross, that's a big overreaction. All I'm saying was, when you think about it, when was the last time Destiny went down for nearly 24 hours? On top of that, any rollback is never a good thing. And I've actually played other games that had to do rollbacks before. RuneScape had to do a rollback once. Some of you guys may remember the Falador Massacre. That was like, what, 2007? The thing is, guys, rollbacks are like a worst case scenario option. And to see it happening here in Destiny 2, especially in 2023, well, it made us concerned. Good to know here, though, that Bungie at least found the problem, because sometimes rollbacks occur when you can't even find the problem. You're like, all right, something bad happened. We can't figure it out. Must roll back. Now, moving on, it's a creepy crawling life. Are you ready, Guardians? It's that time of the year where we get to vote on our Festival of the Lost Armor themes. Make sure you keep reading, because we did change things up a bit this year. But if you have any questions, feel free to sound off on the socials. To get into the changes more specifically, in past years, 2 Festival of the Lost Armor themes were developed. For example, monsters and dinosaurs. Then the voting occurred at the theme level, and voting was aggregated across classes. In 2023, one of the big changes we are making to our voting is making voting class specific. Last year, voting was very close, but it wasn't consistent across classes. To help make sure each class gets the armor set they're most excited about, we've decided to let each class vote individually rather than bucketing armor sets together. Now, to address some of the logistic issues with that approach, we're trying something a little different with the concepts. Instead of making 2 themes, we've chosen creepy crawlies as this year's theme. You'll be voting on 2 different interpretations, a spooky spider style or a bone-chilling beetle body. This means that if Titans want to live the arachnid life and hunters can't live without glowing wings, everybody wins. All right? Yo, look at the legs, man. It's all hairy. This is fantastic. Again, guys, what this means is no longer do we have like warlocks and Titans going, yo, we love the armor set here, and the hunters like, I hate my set of armor, but they obviously get outvoted. Now, everyone will be able to specifically choose the armor set that looks the best for that class. Now, how you vote is changing a little bit as well to accommodate these updates. If you sign up for emails via your Bungie account, you'll receive an email allowing you to vote for your primary class. For example, if you're a hunter main, you'll receive a hunter email. We know a lot of you play more than one class, and others haven't been able to receive our emails for one reason or another. If you're in one of those 2 groups, we have a solution for you as well. We'll have a separate voting link where you can submit your votes for your secondary class or your primary if you didn't get the email. Now, these votes will then be blended into the same pool as the others. Lastly, we have a quick disclaimer. These are draft concepts. While we don't plan on changing them, we reserve the rights to do so. We're saying this because if our art team comes up with an awesome way to make them even cooler, we want the flexibility to make those changes. They're masters of the craft, and we want to leave them the space to do what they do best. Alrighty? Y'all let me know which one of these looks the sexiest. Now, upcoming content changes. changes. Next week, we're planning to deploy some new updates to help everyone complete their collections this season. Starting, weekly deep sight red border weapon focusing from the exo frame of the helm will be adjusted to daily availability for the remainder of the season to help players craft those final weapons before Lightfall arrives. This will also apply to vendors offering guaranteed deep sight weapon focusing from season 16 to 18. Holy hell, guys. Bungie out here just straight up giving you crafted weapons. As a reminder, Iron Banner reputation gains will be increased in several ways when Fortress returns on January 31st, which is next Tuesday. These include an increase to base reputation earned per match, an increased multiplier contribution from wearing Iron Banner armor, and an increased multiplier contribution from equipping an Iron Banner emblem. Go earn that chainmail shader if you haven't already. I will say that is a sexy, and I mean a sexy shader. Drop rates though are pretty abysmal. Now, Season the Seraph ends soon. With Season the Seraph and Year 5 ending on February the 28th, 2023, now is a great time for players to redeem any Bungie rewards retiring at the end of the season. For a list of Bungie rewards that will be expiring on February the 28th, please view the Bungie rewards page. No lie, I might go for the dog plushie there. Now it's almost time, Guardians. All right, Guardians, we're getting to the time in the game where we need to start wrapping up some triumphs and seals before the end of the season. Make sure to grab your fire team or at least your ghost and get those triumphs. So the Moment of Triumphs 2022 t-shirt, as well as the seal, the patch, Crisis inverted pin, and the Seraph Seal collectible medallion pin, as well as the Wanted Seal collectible medallion pin will be available. Now, known issues. The Season the Seraph Seal only needs 9 of the 10 available triumphs to acquire the title. The aberrant imperative quests cannot be picked up if a player's bounty inventory is full. Players will need to make room in their inventory to pick up the quest step. Also, some Season the Seraph armor may display the message, unlock this item in collections to purchase when viewing the seasonal vendor screen. If a player sees this message, they will need to earn the armor elsewhere before purchasing additional armor from the vendor. Also, Revision Zero's Hunter's Trace intrinsic perk may not unlock after should you choose to accept it quests are completed simultaneously. Interesting. That's a big deal, man. Those intrinsic perks make all the difference on that weapon. Many weapon crafting quests and triumphs are not progressing, all right? Do talk about Spaghetti Code. Deep Explorer boots are missing from the armor ornament menu. Shotgun reticle remains on screen while emoting. The Find Fire teams on the companion app doesn't work for accounts whose main characters are from Stadia. Oh boy. Oh, Stadia players, man, are getting it rough, dude. First, we get rid of their platform. Then we don't even let them play with us. We're also aware of an issue causing the next artifact unlock to incorrectly display 0 out of 1 instead of expected XP progress. This is a visual only issue, and players are still able to earn additional artifact unlocks by earning XP. Now, as a final note here from Bungie, and there you have it, the final TWAB in January. I have absolutely no idea how this month went by so fast. And goodness, that means we are really, really close to Lightfall. Okay, we'll let you get back to the game, Guardians. But before we do, here's your reminder to get those triumphs wrapped up and make sure you're following the Destiny 2 team Twitter account. We hope you get to sit in a sun puddle soon. Stay crafty, Sam. All right, fellas, that is your TWAB for this week. By the way, we actually made a video earlier today testing everything from the hotfix, and there was a lot of changes. Things like Dead Man's Tell, which by the way, got a nerf, but simultaneously a damage buff in both PvE and inside of PvP, although not really worth it inside of PvP, but inside of PvE, it's good. We also did things like test storm grenades damage inside of PvE and PvP, compared it to things like pulse grenades, and a number of other changes, including range testing SMGs. So guys, if you're interested in that, we'll have a link to that video down below in the description, as well as a pinned comment. Also, big reminder, guys, we are barely a month away from Lightfall. And on top of that, the final 2 weeks of this season are gonna have a season finale. A lot of speculations are flying around. I personally think something bad's gonna happen to Rasputin. Either he's gonna disarm himself or he's gonna flat out die. But here soon, we are working on a video on everything we know about Lightfall so far. This dives into everything from story, plots, lore, to all the characters. That'll be out here soon, guys. Very much looking forward to diving into that one with all of you. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.